back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. We have a lot to talk about on this evening's live. We'll show how XRP has fought its way through this daily candle. Appears to be on top of the descending triangle for nothing more than a wick as of right now. We still need to watch in the shorter time frames to see if an M-topping reversal could be at play here. A big part of that would be getting a rejection here on this return rally up. And we'll talk about that. There's other things we're going to have to watch. We're going to have to dedicate about 8 minutes to give our due diligence at some point in this live to Brad Garlinghouse, as he was on Bloomberg yesterday. I talked about it yesterday, but I wanted to do that when I got back home so that we could be in a, so that I could have everything set up and be in my own settings. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second. We'll take a look at the XRP price action going to the pattern of January of 2024, which I started talking about at the opening. And then we'll get into Bitcoin just to see exactly what's going on. But there's a lot to talk about in this live, and it's a rather important one here. So I do appreciate everybody who is tuning in. I'll turn on the comments in just a second, but I just wanted to get through this. Please make sure to hit that like button if you are watching right now. It will greatly help with my YouTube recommendations, and it'll allow more people to be able to reach this audience by YouTube recommending the video. It's that simple. I do thank each and every one of you for continuing to be diligent. I know there's been a lot of negativity surrounding XRP. A lot of people are saying how it's a scam coin, Joker's token, how it'll never go up, it'll never hit $1. The sentiment, how it is now, is exactly what I want. It makes me even more bullish. I know it sounds weird, but the more negative and the more bearish everyone gets on XRP, the better I feel. Because it's always going to go against the grain. So if everybody's bullish, if everybody thinks it's just going to go to the moon and it's just going to continue to take off and everybody's just buying it and there's no liquidity, it's something. But when everybody's talking to me, telling me how it's just a joke to own it, I waste my time covering it, the naysayers, which is what you want to hear. That's why it's good to have a community where we can have like-minded conversations. And when you see that negativity out and about, it just goes to show you, what you could be missing because of let's just say maybe an emotional standpoint, or maybe just speaking on something or thinking something that we really have no intel about, and then we end up making a improper conclusion on something, or even putting down somebody who might like something that we don't, and then you don't necessarily have a strong base there either. So, it's a very fine line to be in crypto, but in the end, it's going to be very rewarding. What Brad Garlinghouse said about the XRP ETF is very interesting, almost as if he's hinting at something to come. The Ripple director gave a timeline on when he believes the XRP ETF would be coming out. So there's a lot of interest here. The price action is very interesting as well, because a lot of people this morning I seen were, I don't know if it was just a negative sentiment that was going around just because Bitcoin was consolidating and XRP consolidated. But to continue this move up, I'll continue to show the spots in the ascending formation that's forming right now out of the broadening wedge with Bitcoin, just so that you're not caught off guard. We won't get caught off guard here, and we'll get into it. So let me timestamp this. Please make sure to hit the like button for the YouTube recommendations. And it might be a little lighter show today as far as viewers because the market's down. There's a lot of people that, I don't want to say they're giving up because I don't want people to give up, but I think it's run its course for a lot of people. And typically right before you get that major outbreak, you get a major fall off of support as far as for a token, the buzz, and it just almost as if everything spins out of control against a certain asset. And then before you know it, you're like, well, what just happened here? So I fully anticipate a move here to come. It's going to be we'll get into it. But don't get caught up in short-term action. It's the accumulation phase for a reason. And yes, like I said yesterday or a couple days ago, it's nice when it's green. The positivity flows more throughout, not necessarily the audience, but the new ones who come in and they're looking at XRP and they're like, oh, it's up a few percent. Maybe I can work with this. Compared to like a day like today, they're like, it's down another 2.58% or 2.6%. When was the last time it even got to $1? There's different sentiments that flow. So good evening, 6:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, February 21st. I can't even believe we're already that far into the year, 2024. I'm XRP future millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do appreciate everybody who is tuning in, everybody who stays diligent, but I want to go over the comments just very quickly. James Montgomery, welcome in. He says, welcome in, Mr. Tom. Your hair is getting a little long. Time for haircut. Thanks, James. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for at least 5 months here with the XRP Predictor. I appreciate you paying it forward and showing support for my vision. Yes, the hair is getting long. And for anybody who doesn't know, I promised, or I told the audience I wasn't going to cut it till XRP got to $1. And that was back in July. And now I've just noticed that it's below my chin. So yes, it is getting rather long. And my goatee, I said I wouldn't cut either. So they're both getting rather long. So, but we'll see how long this goes until it hits $1. And likely I probably won't even do anything until it hits all-time highs. So I may be looking like Forrest Gump here very soon when Jen ran away. So, yeah, it's getting rather long. I agree. Juan, welcome in. Clement, Albert, good evening, good afternoon to both of you. From Phoenix, Arizona for Albert. Clement, good evening, and you're welcome for the updates. Let's see. Mark Caston, good evening. Crypto Greek. Michael Hudson, good evening. Matt Holden, welcome in, and thank you for being on Tom's Army for about 5 months now with the XRP Meteor. I appreciate you supporting my work. XRP Stu, good evening. Harvey Boy, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for month 1. That's me being abducted by aliens. Oh, yes, it is. That's the emoji badge. My face is superimposed in on that, too. I kid you not. It is so true. Amber made that for me, and I made it month 1 badge. She had no idea what it was going to be used for. I didn't even... It's just something cool she made me. Louville, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. Albert Cordova, love from my side, guys and gals. Welcome, Albert. The love's reciprocated. Jorge, good evening. UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for month 2 with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Moza here, been in Tom's Army for over 5 months now with the XP Meteor. Martin McGregor, welcome in. Stanley, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. Or should I say the 589 Moon badge. Nunya, welcome in. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hit the like button. Only 13 likes, guys and gals. Let's see where we're at right now. 50 likes now. Wow, 86 people here already. Unbelievable. Even on a down day. So yes, please, let's not let Albert down. Hit that like button. It does help with the YouTube recommendation for this live, and we'll have a more expanded audience. We've been growing at a nice pace here, especially in a bear market. But I think we could even do better. JIOV, welcome in. Long time. One of the first mods ever recorded in this station, and he's been in Tom's Army for over 2 years with that 589 badge. Looking sharp, my friend. Elias, good evening. Spell check didn't save me. Spell check usually hurts us. So, what do we got going here? Comments are on, but we're all caught up. I like to catch up. Derek, good evening. Good evening, my friend. Fletcher, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. How incredible is it to see some of you with over a year, 2 years, 6 months, 2 months, a month? Just incredible. Just incredible. Let's see. The most integrity and best TA in the game. Hey, Stanley, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Infamous, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for a very long journey. Very long journey as well. Got to see exactly which badge you had. What was this? I don't want to say the... Well, that's on your other account, though, so I'm not exactly sure what it's been, but I know you've been in for a long time. But anyhow, XRP down 2.32%. So let's just get into this very quickly, because we do have to go into XRP Brad Garlinghouse video where he's literally on Bloomberg yesterday. And it's about 8 minutes, and we'll dissect it together. But I want to go through the technical analysis first, show everybody what to expect going into the 7 o'clock hour. And if I line this up right, I'll have this going from about 6:52 to 7 o'clock. And then at 7 o'clock, we can dissect what's going on. We can see if, in fact, XRP did continue to close over this descending triangle support instead of a resistance, and see how this is playing out, if this is a potential M-topping reversal, or if this is just a consolidation. It came down to the 534 pivot point. And now we need to see if we're going to continue from here. But a very big key here is one, we want to see if we close over this descending formation, the descending triangle support, which is at 544. And it looks like right now, with 15 minutes to go, we have a little W reversal here possibly. And it looks like it's going to give it a go. Now in the shorter time frames, you got to get past the 200-day here. Not much volume coming to speak of. Not much volume at all. Private driver when XRP moons for us. I'll look at what you just said there. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for 5 months as well, supporting my vision. I greatly appreciate that. You members of Tom's Army have no idea, I don't think, how important you are. Since I don't charge for any of the content, but I don't like to do paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind. So you all literally fund this program. So this can literally turn into a W reversal if it does play properly. If it doesn't, and let's just say we have to go into a bigger consolidation, and what did private decent? Should all meet up in Mexico at an all-inclusive Ripple Diehards Unite. Oh, it'd be awesome. I'd be all for it. I'd be all for it. If and when Ripple, well, XRP, does what it's going to do, I'm all for it. I've even proposed we all meet on the Great Lakes. We all meet on the Great Lake, one of the Great Lakes, and just overtake it. So, we've got... I really want to see if we... The bottom line is I really want to see if we close over this descending triangle. I want to see if it can make another run at this, or if this is kind of like, okay, you know, we've had a rally. Because if you look at it like this, it almost looks like it came to consolidation. If we can hold off on this, we need to get back above not just 544, because that would start to confirm a breakout of this descending triangle. We ultimately need to have a close as well over like that 55.80 mark to be comfortable. And the reason why that's important is because the 200-day runs through in their daily. And once we get that new all-time high today, I don't know, my friend. I don't cover FET. No offense. It's not that I don't want to, but you're going to have to give me a little slack here. I just started my live, and, you know, I put in an extraordinary amount of work. I would love to look at FET. I've looked at it in the past, but you're going to have to chill for just a minute, you know, for me to get through what I'm doing, for me to actually maybe have a chance to look at that towards the end of this live. You're going to have to show me some gratitude, though. And that doesn't mean you have to show... I think a lot of people think that means financial compensation and you got to join Tom's Army or send a YouTube super chat. No. It's not what I mean by gratitude. I mean, show me that you're worth, you know, or that I'm worth it to you to stay around. And then maybe I'll show you the gratitude at the end, maybe tomorrow, maybe whenever I get a chance. And everybody who watches and who's a part of this community knows that I show the gratitude. That's why I have all these charts. That's why I have all these charts. That's why I have these charts. You know, so I do happen to show a lot of loyalty to the audience if they give me their time. It's the bottom line. So XRP, what I was saying is in the July of 2020, or the January of 2024 formation, we're looking to hold this and confirm this hold. The reason this is so important is we've got to break this death cross here, which is a lagging indicator, so it very well could be starting to reverse back up. And if we could break out of this region, we can start to focus. And as I talked earlier, and yesterday, I showed everybody the cheat sheet for this. If you were here, we put this ascending formation in a couple days ago, and it tailor-made our consolidation. It tailor-made it. And it could have went all the way down to 53 cents, and nobody should have been worried. It's in an ascending formation right now. Within this formation, it's trying to get out of it. Now it should come up here and tap, even if we're bearish, and it's going to continue to come down. It started at 60, and some people are like, well, what happened to 60 cents? Now it's 59. Now it's 50, because it's coming down the downtrending resistance. Heck, if it was back here in February, on February 9th, just what, 12 days ago, that would have been up at 61 too. We don't know where it's going to hit. Let's just say, for example, it comes down here and it's in May. That could be all the way at 546 to resistance. Right now, at today's date, and this is about 5 days into the future, we can still look around the 59 cent mark. 586 approximately is where we're going to have to get over right now. But that's how formations work. It's starting to close. No different than what's going on from January of 2018 pattern formation when it hit all-time highs. Took 27 months to get to March of 2020 to hit the low on the converging low finally after hitting all-time highs. So now you had a swing high all the way up at 350 on average on exchanges and a swing low on average around 10 and some change cents. Took 27 months to get there. Now, this formation from where it started to where it converged, it ends December of 2024. So, like, everything that's transpired, there's been many opportunities to get into XRP during the consolidation. Some people unfortunately got in at the start of the consolidation at all-time highs at 350. Some were very fortunate and have been able to find their way in at 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, get out in a bear market rally. And then also some were fortunate to sell out and then get back in this new rally. So it's just a matter of where you got it. The ones at 350 are pissed. The ones at $1.90 say XRP sucks. The ones at $1.25 say, I can't believe I fell for this garbage. The ones at 75 cents say, I can't believe this bullshit. I'm down 50% almost on a daily basis. The ones who bought it at 35 cents are happy. The ones who bought it at 25 cents are not as happy because they didn't sell in a bull market. The ones who bought it at 28.5 cents or higher now, or 28.5 to 35, 37, 39, 40 are very happy, especially if they had it in 21 because they know they sold out and rebought back in at perfect spots. So it's all a debatable game. I hear it all the time. XRP can't make you any money. My portfolio begs to differ. Even on a what they would call supposed shit terms, right? Downtimes, excuse my French. You know, by understanding market cycles and understanding technical analysis, which is the most important part, I was able to get out at $1.66 and reshuffle in at 34.6 cents and add 11 other assets with profits, plus add $10,000 into precious metals at the better parts of $1,600 for gold and $17 for silver. So, I mean, is it just technical analysis or are you able to transform yourselves? And now I've got a $7,000 portfolio, you know, with crypto that's up to over 13,000 even with the drop right now. So it's speculative. And that's over the last year. It's up, you know, almost 100% in totality. So is it not profitable? Or is it we just don't have the proper understanding of how to buy in at the right times or understand what accumulation means? I think that's probably the likelihood is that we haven't bought in at the right time, so we blame the asset. In no way does XRP care about yours or my feelings. The gratitude we showed is just that. The time we dedicate to it is even better because then we won't get tricked. You can't be trapped. Understanding the formations, like understanding that this particular chart goes back to roughly July of 2023 when this resistance hit, right? Not roughly, but it's right there. And now it's at basically a converging point. We started a major uptrend from the bottom, and now it's either it gets stuck here and breaks out, or it gets ripped into here, and then it breaks down again and repeats it until the end, and then we have to decide from there. But right now you have this ability to where if it plays this true, which it has, even on rejection, you should come up over close to 59 cents at worst. And that's all we've been saying from the bottom. And then can we break out of this? If we break out of that, and a lot of people say, well, you talk about this rising channel, it's going to come to, well, the rising channel resistance, yes, is from June of 2022. But you can't get through to the 66.6 cents until what? That's right, what we started with. You can't get to there until you get through the January of 2024 formation that leads you into the July of 2023 formation that leads you into the June of 2022 formation, right? So it's all a stepping stone. You can't just say it's going to go from here to here to there. And you want to know what the craziest thing is? This rising channel is all bullshit if it gets through it. And the reason I say that is because that's not even the grand pattern. All the rising channel is telling us is, unfortunately, if we don't break this soon, it's going to continue down to about that 20.37 cent level. You know, I'm not going to bullshit you. That's all it's telling us. But at the same time, if it is going to get rejected, it's going to unifiedly break through this, and it's going to have a major rejection here. The fact that it didn't fall through here leads us to believe even if it's coming through, it's going to come all the way back up here and try to test this again, if not worse. Because in my own speculation, now that we got through the January of 24, right? If you're new, I've given you the whole rundown. The July of 2023, all the way back to June of 2022 formation, right? So now if we want to get past there, now, too much emotion in chat right now. Janae, it's not as hard as you're making it out to be, I'll be honest with you. Because it's a stable coin, and I'll continue to say that, and World Bank finally recognizes what I've been saying for 3 years. Very easy to trade. Not easy to leverage trade. Very easy to accumulate and make profit. You're not going to make 10,000% in 2 months, But what it can make you is 40 to 100% year over year if you buy it in the right spots. And then when you have a massive breakout, it can make you 3 to 500% quickly in 2 months, 3 months. That's what you're looking for. And then every time you repeat that cycle, eventually you're going to break the all-time highs. And if you bought it at 35 cents, you're going to break a 1,000x or 1,000% gain. And then it won't be so painful if 3,500 turns into 35,000 real quickly. It's only painful if we make it that way, if we don't understand the cycle. So XRP, now that we've gotten through all of these formations, see, this is where it gets fun for me. Does everybody understand what I just said? Because I know I said a lot. Everybody says I talk too fast. But could you imagine if I talk slow? Do you know how long? I would be on here for 7 hours a day on my lives. So if we get through this, and yes, I need to be more positive when I talk XRP long term instead of just this short term narrative. Because guess what? I see it every day in chat, how they get us on that short term narrative. It's how institutional investors win time after time again. Because the short term doesn't bother them. They don't give a rat's ass. Excuse my French. But now look at this. This is the all-time pattern. Remember, I spoke from just the mind in the opening because I want you to see just how much I understand my charts and how much I understand not just my charts, but XRP's formations, so that you can at least have some hope that somebody is at least going to lead you in the right direction. And if not because of you, because my life depends on this with my own financial standings. If I fuck this up, excuse my French, if I mess this up, it's over. It's over. And welcome to the Buckeye fan I seen in here earlier. I think you're going to have one explosive season. One explosive season. You know, from one explosive season to the next, you know, maybe you guys will get one of these this decade. But I believe you're building a championship team right now. So we'll see what happens. So, but with XRP, remembering what we're going to. XRP had the all-time highs in January 2018. On this chart on Bitstamp, it's at 333. Now look how long it took. Remember the 27-month convergence? It went from January of 2020 all the way down here until March of 2020. 2020. Jordan, it is the accumulation phase, but I have not added an asset in several months. Since sometime late summer, early fall, before everything started pushing up and ramping up again. So yes, my accumulation phase, it is still the accumulation phase, but mine has closed until some of these assets go way down if they ever do. So some of my stuff is up 1 and 2x right now. XRP's up almost, I don't know what, 35 to where we're at. So it just all depends. But so that's back to March of 2000. That doesn't mean your accumulation should end, or if your plans are different. March, but I have 12 assets right now that I've gotten almost exactly what I wanted. I missed out by 2,200 tokens. I got 7,800 on Winning Wednesdays and FOMO Fridays with all of you. And I'm very happy we got it under 10 cents. But once it got over 10, we said we were done. You got to stick to the philosophy. So very happy with that. So anyhow, March of 2020, that's a 27-month roughly convergence down to just under 10 cents. You can see it better if it's zoomed in, but it's about 10 cents. Then it comes back up in July, 2021, which is April of 21. This is nothing more than a bear market rally. If you're new, just pay attention to this. Everybody says, oh, XRP's last bull market was in 21. Bullshit. Sorry, excuse me. I'm getting very excited tonight. The reason I say that is don't do it the injustice of saying it was in a bull market. This is one hell of a bear market consolidation right now. You want this to be an extended market, bear market. Good, everything else went into a bull market in 21, not XRP. Sorry, it didn't. You can't say it's a bull market if you didn't make everything whole, all the buyers from the previous cycle. And for example, on BITUNIX, they were left better than 67% in the red. Okay, put that in your pipe. For everybody who says it was a bull market, please, just, you have to understand why this is relevant. So if it's in a consolidation for this long and we didn't go into a bull market, we've got resistance, support. Well, now we hit resistance in 2021 in April. Bear market rally to the finest. Then we confirmed once again, not just in 2020, but also at the late end of 2020 when that lawsuit was announced on XRP or Ripple. XRP came all the way back down and hit this uptrending support again. Then we came back up here and hit the uptrending support in 23, and 22 and 23. Now we've never hit this uptrending resistance. So if the pattern is bearish, I've been pleading the case. We've got to come up here at some point around 70 cents and get that bearish touch. It's only hit twice. Even if the pattern falls through, it's going to hit 3 times on each side. You've not got that consolidation for the top side. We've had plenty of holds on support, but it's almost telling us that we need to come up there. But if it doesn't, and this is where everybody who's a naysayer or somebody who's like, oh, it broke down, it's over, doesn't understand, you could still have at any moment a 30% breakdown to the formation uptrend, around 38 cents right now. So don't think it can't happen, because it can. Will it? We don't know. But what if, for example, it comes up here to like 68, and then instead of being at 38, it's at 40.5 cents? Okay, it just depends when it hits. Remember, this formation doesn't end until December of 2024. I've been saying this for 3 years almost. But guess what the difference is now? It's 2024. We're a little older, a little grayer, a little more senile. You know, some of us have gained a very fine understanding of the crypto philosophy and the crypto trading, XRP as a whole, the ISO tokens, what's going on with the lawsuit. We've become enlightened. Some of us just can't get over the anger and the emotion, and we never look past the price. To never look past the price is to never see the prize. You got to get past the price. You've got to get past the price and look at it more as a formation. It's just, if I'm wrong, I'm happily wrong. You know why? Because my finances are suggesting that I'm not wrong. The portfolio, what I'm saying. I'm not rich. You're watching me. I'm XRP future millionaire, and I'm not millionaire in present. And I've said it for years. The only difference between me now and somebody who shows you their $1 million and they say they make all this money trading after they get successful, I'm showing you it as it happens. It's not pretty, folks. It's not glamorous. And if you want to get to where you want to go, you got to tune out everybody else. You know, only you know what you want. Only I know what I want. It's not what everybody else has on YouTube, I'll tell you that. I know damn well we have something special here, and it's not emulated. It can't be. It's impossible. So with that being said, 91 people hit that like button. I think with the passion I'm showing you, and just the charting alone from all of those rotations, deserves a like. 130 people watching, that means 39 people could hit that like button at the very least and help me pass this through the YouTube recommendation, or allow YouTube's recommendation to suggest this video and allow us to expand this live. If you do appreciate what I do, but you don't want to hit the like button for every reason, you can always join Tom's Army like some of the fine people you've seen before you, with the emoji badges next to their name. They do that to pay it forward for the time that I put in, the extraordinary amount of time. Or I ask to send one YouTube super chat per month just to show support, because I don't do anything over the top. I don't charge for any content, and I don't do any of the paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships you see on every other place on YouTube, which can be annoying. I just don't want to partake in it, so I'm just not going to. And if it costs me revenue, so be it, but I don't care. I want to stay true to what I know and what I am. So 7:03 p.m., 54.7 cents. XRP's done a fantastic job on this daily, and at least stayed above here. And we're about to have to dedicate 8 minutes to Mr. Bradley Garlinghouse right now. We're not going to have a choice. True, welcome in, homie. Good to see you snuck in here. I know you've been in here for a minute, but every time I seen your name, I was in the middle of saying something. And then I guess I just kept talking. How long have I been talking? Oh my God, it's been a half hour. I did it again. I always do this. I can't stop. So look at XRP. Having an engulfing candle on this 4-hourly so far to start. Now it's going to be interesting after this daily flip. We closed. We had to close over, well over that descending triangle. So we're going to see what that's all about. So has anybody seen what Bradley Garlinghouse said about Ripple? Possible ETF? Because it's not just this we're going to go over. Because we're going to kind of put it up against what Bradley Garlinghouse says here. And then we're going to see what the ex-Ripple CIA, the ex-Ripple director and his timeline for an XRP ETF and Ripple IPO. Don't care about the IPO, because I think it makes a lot of sense for that to maybe get scrapped here. But the XRP ETF, I want to know what he says in comparison to what we're going to hear from Brad Garlinghouse. He was on Binance, he was on Bloomberg yesterday. So I want to play this. So give him 8 minutes of your attention. If you're a fan of XRP, if you want to know what's going on with Ripple and the the Ripple ETF gets you excited, there's simply no reason not to watch this interview. So please, I hope at the end of this we have 132 people. I hope 132 of you stick around and watch this because it's more information that you need to know. You may not want to know. You may not even care to waste 8 minutes of your time. But trust me, this is what you want to know.
It's worth kind of going back to your case with the SEC first, because you are far along. And as we sit here today on February 20th, how would you describe how the dispute has changed?
Well, look, I think for whatever reason, the SEC decided to make Ripple their first major case around this. And look, the reality prior to the case, we had been advocating for more clarity around the rules and regulations. And the good news has been other countries around the world have leaned into that and codified what should the rules and regulations, what's unique about crypto that needs to be changed. The SEC, frankly, has just hired more litigation that, what we call regulation through enforcement. And it really just started suing lots of people. And what's unfortunate.
Sorry, in the chat, let me know if you want closed captioning on. I forgot, because if you're in a different language, I have it to where it can do multiple different languages. So if it's bothering you, please let me know in the comments.
They have lost consistently. They lost the Ripple case on everything they cared about. I mean, even the soundbite you just had up, your Chair Gensler is saying that a lot of these are securities. What the courts have said in the cases they have brought, and certainly the case with Ripple and the token XRP, the court determined that XRP is not in and of itself a security.
When do you think that this will finally no longer be an overhang for you guys? You're one of many companies that are fighting the SEC at this point in time, but when can you call this an all clear? And do you think that this will make it so far as to reach higher courts?
Well, hard to predict whether it's going to reach higher courts. On everything we cared about, we won against the SEC. Will the SEC appeal and move it up the courts? We'll see. They sought approval to do what's called an interlocutory appeal.
So listen, key words here. They sought and got everything that they were looking for already. Does that mean that they would be open to a settlement? Because I have a little question for everybody. Where did that 60 million XRP Ripple sold? Where's that $30 million plus, or right around $30 million going? That's what I want to know. So is there any possibility that maybe in April that could happen? He's saying that they've gotten everything they wanted for or hoped for. So I'm just curious. I don't think that's the best course of action to get a settlement. It would be good for XRP or Ripple. But for all of the other, hey, Tom, can you see XDC can reach $1 plus? It's going to take time, but I think in the future at some point, you're going to see it over $1. It's going to take time. XDC is a very strong asset. But I think they give a lot of intel, so let me continue.
The courts denied that also. The case against me personally and Chris Larson personally was dismissed entirely with prejudice. So, look, from my point of view, the SEC has lost consistently. They lost the Grayscale case. I think if you're following the Coinbase case, the tone from the judge.
Dude, no. If anybody's, no. Nope. I got to stop you there. Adobo. Or not Adobo. Who said that about sending somebody XRP and they'll send you double? No. Even if they tell you to link your stuff up to the new financial section, the new financial system, have you backed it for the new reset? No, it's all scams. If you send them your XRP, you're going to get zero back. It'll be a 100% wash. So if you're interested in sending somebody 1,000 tokens and getting zero back, then yes, go ahead and send them. But if you want to keep your tokens, stay far away from anybody who says that is possible, period.
Is, I think, pretty skeptical about some of the SEC's arguments. It stops, I think, when the SEC either realizes they're losing consistently, or you have Congress lean in and write new legislation. That's probably going to be hard in an election year. Maybe we'll see legislation around stablecoins this year, but I'm hopeful and we'll continue to advocate in Washington.
Well, you mentioned the Grayscale case, Brad, and it's Kaylee in Washington. Obviously, that was pretty instrumental in ultimately the SEC granting approval to not just Grayscale's conversion to a spot ETF, GBTC that is, but spot Bitcoin ETFs more broadly. I'm sure you've seen there's buzz out there about potentially an XRP ETF. being in the
Here we go, guys. So if anybody has any relaxation, if you want any cannabis to join us, now would be the time. They're about to talk about the XRP ETF. So expand your minds if you have it. If you have kids in the room, obviously not. But it's legal where I live. And just if you'd like to partake, go for it. Julie is helping me indulge.
Sure. What do you make of that speculation?
Well, Kelly, good to see you. I think it only makes sense there will be other ETFs. It's a little like, the earliest days of the stock market. You don't really want exposure to one stock or one company. You want to typically think about diversifying risk and what have you. And so I think we will see other ETFs. When we will see them is hard to predict. The sad reality of what we saw with the Bitcoin ETF is it was only because the courts forced the SEC's hand, and really Chair Gensler's hand, that we saw that finally come to fruition. And look, in my opinion, it makes these markets safer. It makes them more robust. And so this is good for the investment community to kind of lean into that.
So
Ronald, just learn from it. Everybody at some point, whether by scam or whether by getting overcharged on exchange fees, or sending some kind of crypto that you could have got or would have had less of a fee for. At some point, somebody gets taken in crypto one way or the other. That's how we grow from it, and it's better to learn on something. And I don't know how much you lost, but just everybody be very careful. That's one of the biggest reasons why the investors leave retail, because they get one-overed.
welcome an XRP ETF then?
We would certainly welcome it, and I think it's inevitable that there'll be, multiple ETFs around different tokens. I think you'll even see ETFs potentially around baskets that also, I think, further diversify that risk.
Given there's so much excitement around the ETF dynamic here, are you in talks with the largest issuers, particularly BlackRock, to get this done?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. I know BlackRock has said some things publicly. We think it makes sense for the XRP community overall. Ripple obviously is a very important stakeholder in the XRP ecosystem, but we're not the only player. And look, we've seen, before the SEC lawsuit, XRP was the second most valuable digital asset. I think because of the headwinds of that lawsuit, we've now seen that largely abate. But the long-term view on these things.
Michael, welcome back to Tom's Army for over 1 year now with the I Told You So badge. Welcome back, friend. Not that you ever left for long. But thank you so much for coming back to Tom's Army with the emoji badge. The I Told You So badge, which tells me you've been in the Army for over 1 year, my friend. Thank you so much for that.
Is about, how do you create utility and really solve real-world problems with these different digital assets? Bitcoin's doing that very well as a store of value. XRP and its dynamics around being very fast, very efficient, and low cost on a per transaction basis makes it ideal for payments, and that's where Ripple really has leaned into as a company.
Ah, good old advertisement. Good old advertisement. Hey, we're watching their station on Bloomberg, so what else would we expect?
So that's where Ripple really has leaned into as a company.
Well, let's talk about where else Ripple is leaning in. You've recently acquired Standard Custody. What is that going to do for your company?
Well, look, we think there's some basic building blocks around crypto that are important to make crypto successful. Custody is an important part of that. For institutions to be able to custody both their own as well as their customers' digital assets, we think is very important. We've made 2 acquisitions over the last year in this space. One was a company in Switzerland, and then more recently, the Standard Custody. Standard Custody in particular has a trust license here in New York, which also makes it very valuable. Everything we have done at Ripple is compliant first. And I think this year, 2024, with FTX behind us, with some of the Binance dynamics largely behind us, I think has to be a compliant first mindset for all of the crypto industry.
How far can your foray into custody really go? You think about what's happening with Coinbase and its role in custody when it comes to these ETFs. How do you envision your role in custody expanding over time?
Well, look, it's a pretty fragmented market today. Coinbase is a player. You have 5 or 10 players that have small pieces of market share. We already have signed up with Ripple's custody solution, HSBC. We have BBVA, a leading partner of ours called Zodia. So, we feel very good about the momentum we have to kind of the larger banking infrastructure. But we also intend to compete at a more regional financial institutions, as well as with some corporates who are starting to look at custodying their own crypto also.
Brad, as we have this conversation with you, Nikki Haley, the Republican presidential candidate, is giving a state of the race speech in South Carolina with that primary just days away. She says she's not going anywhere. She has no plans to quit the race. But just a few weeks ago on this show, Tim Draper, of course, a pretty prominent Bitcoin investor, was talking about what kind of president she could be, what she could do for innovation like digital assets. And I just wonder, as Ripple is looking ahead to 2024, how consequential do you think ultimately who's in the White House, what the composition of Congress could look like as well down the ballot will be in deciding the future of digital assets? Is there anyone you would support?
Well, look, at the most macro level, I think it's incredibly important that the U.S. regain a leadership position around crypto regulation. We are a laggard. We are behind other major countries like the U.K. I mean, the European Union, as a 27-country membership, is ahead of us. They've gotten 27 countries to agree to things that we as one country can't get our arms around. So I think it's very important. You know, over 20% of the U.S. population already has direct or indirect exposure to crypto, and so it only makes sense that it's an issue. As you probably know, Ripple, Andreessen Horowitz, and Coinbase put together a super PAC, and we've each put $25 million behind it to support candidates that are pro-crypto and pro-constructive regulation and engagement, really being pro-innovation but protecting consumers at the same time. I think that for a lot of politicians, crypto has become a soundbite where they don't really understand how crypto works, and they say things that actually don't even back up with facts. So, you know, I do think it's a campaign issue. Ripple has leaned into that. I personally, you know, my donations are bipartisan, but certainly pro-crypto, and that'll continue to be the case. I'll even highlight just today, John Deaton, a very prominent pro-crypto guy, announced he's running against Elizabeth Warren. So I think you're going to continue to see that. Correct.
So with that said, also we know that Elizabeth Warren is trying to make the crypto industries a regulation around AML laws and KYC laws more akin to that of banking. Is this something a lot of the crypto industry has been very upset about? Is this something you're actively
FYI, KYC, when Elizabeth Warren says they need more of that, that's just more taxation.
fighting?
Oh, no. On the contrary, I mean, I would actually argue that Elizabeth Warren has it wrong. I mean, if you sign up on Coinbase, you have to get KYC, know your customer. You have to go through a verification process of providing your licenses, and they do that verification. And as I said before, the vast, vast, vast majority of people who are in the crypto industry are good actors who want to play by the rules. We need to know what those rules are sometimes. But the KYC and AML are not rules that are confusing, and I find that the vast majority of the industry players are already leaning into that. I think Elizabeth Warren wants us to believe that those are things that somehow crypto is circumventing, but that's not the real.
All right, so that's important. I'll consider maybe at the end of this, there was one other thing that I wanted to play, but we'll consider that. But welcome at MC Prosperity. I seen you in here. I appreciate you tuning in. Sean Crothers, my main man from Maine, welcome, and also Ahmad. I seen you in here as well. Cape Cod Kyle, not from Florida, but Massachusetts, is in the house. Thank you for being in Tom's Army as well, Cape Cod Kyle. I know sometimes on the live, for some reason, it doesn't show it. But as we see, it shows it for whatever reason in the updates. But I know you're in Tom's Army, and I appreciate that greatly. For you can showing the support for my work. That means so much to me. Really does. Really, really does. So XRP right now is at 54.71. So nothing much to talk about since the flip of the clock. We'll come back into the chart in just a minute. But remember, we wanted to bounce on the fact that, oh, Ernie, welcome in. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for, is that the I told you so badge? I'm going to have to see it. It was fading away. I think it was the I told you so badge. In any event, you've been in Tom's Army for well over a year now. So I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for the continued support, my friend. But one important thing that's developed here since we came on is we had the daily close. And a point of interest is the fact that in the daily, in fact, we only had a wick down and we closed again. Yes, the I told you so badge, Ernie. Thank you so much for that. In Tom's Army for over a year. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. But for XRP, we did close over the descending triangle. So we did have a daily close over. So it's not like we gave it back. It's just we retested the 534 pivot. So now if we say, okay, well, we're done with this, right? We're done with the January formation. The heck with this pattern. Well, let's just go to the July of 2024 pattern because this actually opens it up and shows us what's going on. because we knew the formation, it created this ascending formation now, pretty much towards the back end of this pattern as it started in July 2023. So now we're paying attention to this. As long as we hold this uptrend, typical consolidation now, it's opened up. Now, if it breaks up, it's going to be very nice because we're going to come to a meeting point at 58.4 or 59. It just depends where the downtrending resistance continues to move as the days go on. As we showed in the beginning, if it was on February 9th, it'd be up about 60 cents. Well, as it is, it's been 12 days now more. So we continue to move. But eventually here, I'm telling you, this price is going to catch everybody by surprise. It's exactly what I was saying in 21. When everybody was getting mad when it would go down from 57 to 42 to 49 to 72 to 61 to 58. Remember, then it went to like $1 to 71 to 96, and then all of a sudden it's at $1.80. We're like, oh my God. Oh my God. I put in $5,000 on XRP and I got, oh my God, I got 12, 50, 100, what was it up to if you had 5,000? It'd been up to, what, 20, 22,000, in a couple months. That's what dreams are made of. It's going to happen again. If you think that was something in a bear market, oh my God. Just wait. Just wait. Probably always have to keep our minds open to 38 cents and say, oh my God, there could be a huge opportunity there. Especially if we're looking to expand or grow the bag for the first time. Be a huge opportunity. But that doesn't mean it has to go down there. That just means that we have to be in tune with the pattern formation that started when we went to all-time highs, as we showed in the beginning of this live, or sometime in this time, I don't know, my mind gets warped because I just talk. And at least if you've been around for a while, you can tell. No lies coming here. I only speak what I know. So I'm not trying to get you to stay here either. I'm trying to make you want to be here. Not because you have to be, because you have to be. Because if you don't come here, you're not going to see things to the extent that maybe with your own understanding and your own studies and mine combined, that's the winning combination. My winning combination is not me sitting here by myself. Yes, it works for me in real life, but my winning combination is sitting here with each and every one of you and building camaraderie. That's my winning combination. And is this the AI token, my friend? You were talking about FET in the beginning. And since you have managed to stay here throughout 47 minutes, I'm going to give you your due process. And if this is the right token, whoops, we're going to get into it in just a second. Because I'm pretty sure you're talking about the AI token. It has to be. It's the only one that I really know with that name. Okay. Whoa. You weren't kidding when you said it at a break. This is definitely the right one. So let's just... And we're going to go back to XRP, everybody. We're not... This XRP station. But I do like to show... This is interesting. I do like to show support to my audience's vendetta or ventures as well. This is actually a bona fide... It doesn't even matter how... This is a bona fide breakout. I'm just trying to get the actual mark to see like where... So what I'm trying to do now is I'm going to get the breakout point. We're going to get the technical target, and then we're going to get the retracement target because it looks like it broke past likely the technical move here. So we're going to have to get some kind of measurement though, but it definitely moved far past that initial target. But now we need to see in case, for levels here. We're going to do this together though. Watch how cool this is. So if you're watching this, you don't put it down here because you got a breakout here. So the technical move up to here, first layer was up here at about 80 cents. So that's our first point of reference. Now we got to figure what's going out from there. So now if we break it into the higher levels, volume's still coming in. 2 hourly. Now let's get into a daily perspective. Volume's looking good. Ooh, this is looking good. Now, what we can see, if we look at it from weekly, we can see a bigger target now. So basically what happened here is we formed a big flag in the weekly. So came down like this. So we had our first target, right? And now that should validate the technical move now. So now you come to here, and the technical move was actually, is that in the right spot or am I too far? I think I'm too far over. Hold on, this is very important for me because this is where the semantics come in if I miss it, see? Because it's in the weekly. technical target was right there. $1.14. Okay, that's interesting. That's the technical target on that weekly, what we could define as a flag. And see, I did it slanted with the flag. So see how it broke out of there? So the technical target here now is $1.14. Okay, so now we got to get into the short-term consolidation, because once it breaks the short-term, you would assume it's going to have to come for consolidation. And everybody, this will be a nice lesson for everybody. When we come back to this in a couple days, or assuming the same person follows, let's see how we're breaking it down into levels. So what you see on my chart, sometimes I form them years earlier, and now it's just filling out those patterns. It makes me look stupid in the beginning. But once it fills out, so now the one below are the longer term patterns. Now what we're trying to do is micromanage this pattern. If you're watching, yes, this is not XRP, and some of you will leave, but this is exactly how you can sit here by yourself and be like, okay, well, what is going on right now? See this? It's not so scary once you figure it out. It's really not. Okay, so there's that. So now, in the short term, how was this? I don't need to put it on my watch list. I know the chart. But now, is it as scary as it started? Like, let's go down there and we're going to do an analysis real quick. So that's where we're at. Once that breaks down, let's just say this breaks down in this rising channel now, because now we understand we're in a rising channel. Those are bearish reversals at the top. The fact that that technical target, ladies and gentlemen, what happened to the technical target? Where'd the technical target go? Oh, there it is. The technical target, the fact that that's up there at $1.14 tells no lies. Once this rising channel breaks down, you're going to get a retest somewhere. The question is where? It could be all the way down at 80 cents, that first technical move. It could be down just a retest. Maybe it comes up here and it just continues to ride this channel, but these are bearish reversals if they continue for too long, unless you break to the top side. If it breaks to the top side, you're going parabolic. It's basically how a rising channel works here. If this goes up, you're going parabolic. It's just, you should have some kind of maybe not lengthy, but some kind of, and tell me if this pattern looks familiar for XP holders. Going to the moon, going to the, So, it's one of those cases where the rising channel, boom. So don't be too surprised if maybe something like that plays out. Maybe it rounds on. So that's what I'm seeing. So I don't know, my friend. Does that help? Does that help? Yeah, and then there's the daily. Oh, well, we know the daily. Now it's either does it break up another level or does it finally do the consolidation? So, okay. Back to XRP, how many people survived? Yeah, we lost about 20 people in that transaction. But, if some can't understand the quality for the other viewers, we do something different here. So, XRP, that's how we get into that's why I have to break it down at such a level. Now, the next time we go to that Binance chart of that particular AI token, you're welcome, Ernie. You are welcome. There was somebody else, too, who was asking about it. I just can't remember who it was. I think they commented to start when I started doing that analysis. So, XRP, the main thing you need to get out of this live is this uptrending support. We're going to try to hold this now at the 53, basically the 53.1 cent level. Yes, we are technically still working on breaking out of this descending triangle, but we can start to say, well, we formed this pattern, and now we know if it breaks down through here, because the descending triangle wouldn't have held, and the lower support of this formation structure wouldn't have held, well, now we just have to face the facts. We're probably coming to 50 cents. Not that it's a bad thing, that formation. Remember, the first time it came down here is back in this region. Then it came down here. What is going on here? That's a terrible interpretation when it's not even hitting it. But I went through here because then you get the real hit here. So, but that's not even where I really want it. It always changes every time I go through my charts because I'm so hands-on. So anyhow, where's this top? It's got to be perfect, though. I know it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but just the numbers it's different. Just in case the consolidation happens, you have to have it because now it draws us into this range. Remember we said 40 cents or 50 cents? It's not 50. See that subtle difference? It's actually 49.3 cents, it looks like. It's a big difference. That's the 49. No, that's like the 494. So 491. It would have to come down there. That's that support area. It looms again. That's if it doesn't break out. And you can see this. We're filling it out. And that's why I say there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just understand the formation. Like in this part of it, just right, until it breaks out, can even do something like that. But we're looking at it right now as a potential breakout. Every time it does this, you have a chance until it forces down. So basically, every time it did this, it was trying to have a chance. Back down. Whoops. Trying to have a chance. Down. No. Down. Then it realized it needed more. Came back. Now the demand is filled up in the supply zone. So you needed the supply zone. Now you've got a demand to push up. Is it enough to break through the long-standing resistance for this time frame from July 23? That's what we're waiting for. Nobody knows. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't mean I don't know technical analysis. I can't predict the amount of volume that comes in minute over minute. The only ones who can predict that are the manipulators and trading bots at B, because they know what's coming next in the formulation. But I, unfortunately, won't. So before I let you guys go, I want to see what the ex-Ripple director says in regards to a possible timeline. He gives a timeline for XRP ETF and Ripple IPO. So we'll bounce it off. You know, we heard what Brad Garlinghouse said it would make sense to have more than just one ETF for an underlying asset, right? It does make sense. Some people might want to buy an ETF but don't want to buy Bitcoin. Just like some people might want to buy a gold ETF and not an oil ETF. Or somebody might want to buy, a futures ETF. There's so many of them. An energy ETF. Just different sectors. You know, it's the same thing with crypto. Maybe somebody doesn't believe in Bitcoin, but they believe in XRP, so they'd buy that ETF. Maybe somebody would buy an Ethereum ETF. Maybe somebody would buy, H-bar ETF, or Hedera, but that's what I mean. So a former director at Ripple has issued a timeline for when the crypto community can expect an XRP exchange-traded fund, ETF, and Ripple's initial public offer, IPO. So speculated dates for an XRP ETF. Sean McBride, formerly Ripple's director of global talent acquisition, has taken to X to issue dates for the two most highly expected developments in the XRP community on XRP Spot ETF and the Ripple IPO. McBride argued that the community would see the emergence of a genuine XRP ETF either this year or in 2025. However, he specified no factors that may have formed the foundation of his timeline. You will see. Remember, they like to put things out in plain sight, everybody, right? That's a hell of a question, Ernie. That's a heck of a question. That's above my pay grade. I'll have to do more research before I can give you a educated and informed answer there. I'm not going to lie to you. Sean McBride said you will see an XRP ETF in 2024 or 2025. You will also see a Ripple IPO outside the U.S. in 25. That's what I was saying. You're not going to get a Ripple IPO until you get an XRP ETF. I firmly believe that, likely. What do I know? Speculations regarding the potential arrival of an XRP ETF have emerged over the past few months. They gained traction following the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs by the U.S. SEC. Notably, exchange-traded funds for Ethereum are in the limelight. The case for XRP stems from its unique regulatory status in the United States, yet no prominent asset manager has taken steps to establish an XRP ETF in the United States despite repeated calls. Meanwhile, in a recent interview, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse affirmed the possibility of an XRP ETF coming to fruition, yet Garlinghouse expressed caution about setting a timeline. I think we will see the ETFs, and this is why it was important for us to watch this whole 8-minute and 57-second video with Bloomberg that we were able to see, because now we can understand. I think we will see the other ETFs, but when we will see them is hard to predict, he remarked, citing that it even took a court verdict to get the U.S. securities regulators' assent to Bitcoin spot ETFs, or their assent to Bitcoin spot ETFs. And then, meanwhile, Sean McBride has speculated that the community can expect Ripple's initial public offering in 2025. Interestingly, McBride noted that Ripple could carry out the IPO outside the United States. As previously reported by the Crypto Basic, Ripple acknowledged exploring overseas jurisdictions for potential listings as a public company. However, The firm has temporarily postponed its IPO plans since going public is not an immediate priority, especially given its substantial cash reserves. Notably, Wall Street financial analyst Linda Jones expressed a viewpoint similar to that of former Ripple directors, suggesting that a 2025 IPO for Ripple would be possibly in the works. And that's just, IPO is just an initial public offering, so way to raise capital typically. So that's basically what I got, everybody. If you appreciate my work, make sure you hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live, allow more people to reach this community. If you appreciate what I do and you don't want to miss another update, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the over 20,200 subscribers. If you appreciate my work and you think that I'm underappreciated or undervalued, or you just want to pay it forward for all the time I put in, consider joining Tom's Army and getting one of your own special emoji badges next to your name that updates each and every month you maintain in the Army, or consider sending one YouTube super chat per month. Outside of that, if you're looking to trade crypto, try to take advantage of MEXC. Look in the video description below. No spot fees, especially if you're looking to build a portfolio, and no leverage trading fees for future contracts. There's also PHEMEX and or BITUNIX for USA or the UK. You just got to pick and choose because regulations all around. So I try to keep it for each region that watches me, the majority. So I try to keep it open in the comment or in the video description. So just click on the link and you'll find what you're looking for. Other than that, Bitcoin, remember, we're in this ascending formation. So even if we have a correction, it would be in the deck of cards right now. If it comes sometime between now and February 26th, you can approximate around 48,342. So if it comes down there, everybody's going to be pissed. If XRP goes, remember the level 493. If it gets down there, if something happens, or maybe it's just the 53, 52.8 level, but everybody's going to be like, oh my God, and what's going to happen if it does it properly? If you see it below this, there's no reason to be mad. You know it's going to come back to the bottom of the wedge, broadening wedge, right? So, but it looks like it wants to continue up. I've seen these rallies before, so until it starts rotating, don't go short because, you can go short, but everybody who's gone short so far has lost their shorts, and some have lost their stocks. Now, don't lose your top hat along with it. So, have a blessed evening, everyone, and remember, if Bitcoin does break out of the broadening wedge, the technical target as of right now is roughly 66,400 and some change. Puts us into all-time high ranges. So, consider what that means for crypto. So, I'm out. If you watched until the end, especially if you're watching after live or if you're watching during live, type in the chat, hashtag be better, do better. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I can't believe that hour and 3 minutes went by that fast. But my voice is starting to get a little, as you can hear, so I don't want it to go bad because then I won't be able to talk tomorrow. So I appreciate each and every one of you. You're welcome, CJH Pilot. And Chloe, thank you so much. Have a good one, everybody. Seriously, you've all blessed me.